Hi Wild Hearthstone YouTube, Keith here again. Let's talk about Bug Druid. A few days ago, after the release of Dead Mines, I posted a tweet pointing out an HS Replay win rate chart. It showed the win rates of all 10 classes in Wild. Warrior and Hunter were on top by a pretty significant margin, Warlock was holding its own, and everything else was really far behind, which was what was predicted by Wild analysts and tier lists before Dead Mines. But, on November 5th, 2 days later, something really strange happened. Druid jumped up 10 percentage points, and it leapfrogged Warrior and Hunter to be the new best class in Wild. What happened? Bug Druid. Bug Druid is a deck that exploits a bug between the new card Jerry-Rig Carpenter and an old Choose One card Hidden Oasis. When Jerry-Rig Carpenter draws a Choose One card and splits it, the split copies are supposed to cost the same as the original card. But with Hidden Oasis, there's a bug where the split copies cost 0 mana instead. That means you can play Jerry-Rig Carpenter, draw and split Hidden Oasis, and then play a 0 mana 6/6 taunt right alongside Jerry-Rig Carpenter. Since Jerry's a pirate, you can also get some other big swings too, like pulling patches from deck with Embiggen and Parachute Brigand from hand. It's a really big spike in stats that can happen as soon as turn 1 with the coin. Now this combo is strong enough to compete with major decks like Pirate Warrior and Odd Hunter, and after players started posting high legend results with this deck, it kind of spread like wildfire. It became the most popular deck in Diamond ranks by a wide margin. As the deck became popular, community response became a little heated. Some players were frustrated that the bug existed, and that Blizzard allowed it to run rampant without fixing it. Some players were frustrated with the other players, calling them cheaters for exploiting the bug to gain ranks. It even went so far as some of the players talking about giving up Wild for Standard until the bug was fixed. Blizzard reps have already acknowledged that the bug exists, by the way, and it's slated to be fixed in the near future. By the time you watch this video, it might already be fixed and Bug Druid has already ceased to exist. For what it's worth, I don't believe that Bug Druid players on ladder are cheaters. The interaction might be unintended, but players are able to do it without external interference. You don't have to do any APM hacks to the client, no third-party software, no disconnecting and reconnecting to skip animations, none of the usual garbage that people have done to gain an advantage in Wild Hearthstone. You simply play the card and it does the thing. We had something like this happen a while back, by the way, with Maxima Blastenheimer and Cthulhu that even Ixar was playing on ladder, and Ixar confirmed that it wasn't cheating to use the Maxima bug while they were sorting it out. But here's another thing too. Now, Bug Druid is fast, it's powerful, and it does a cheap thing that a lot of people don't like. But here's the thing. It's beatable. And quite easily too. Bug Druid is really just Aggro Druid with a new trick, and Aggro Druid can be beaten by defensive strategies with strong removal, taunts, and healing. If you can beat their early push, you can run Aggro Druid out of resources and win by using a control deck. Now, that's something we haven't been able to say in a while. Decks like Pirate Warrior and Odd Hunter have built-in infinite resource engines with the United Stormwind quest lines, and they're extremely difficult to grind down. But Aggro Druid doesn't have anything like that to guarantee a victory if the game goes long. So, to exploit those weaknesses, I actually recently climbed a legend playing Shudderwock Shaman of all things. It was a deck inspired by fellow streamer Martian Boo, and it was featured previously in my YouTube channel. It has a Flurgle Toxfin combo as its AoE removal ace in the hole, but it also has Lightning Storm, Devolve, Earth Revenant, and the Lurker below for more removal. If you add in Armor Vendor and Canal Slogger for healing, and Brilliant Macaw and Barista Lichen for value, you have a deck that simply farms Bug Druid. I went 22-6 on this push, going 86% against Druids alone. The deck's solid overall, and you can find the code in the comments if you want to try it out for yourself. Anyway, if a deck like Shudderwock Shaman can beat Bug Druid, other control decks can probably beat it too. And if anti-aggro control decks are viable, then the decks that farm those anti-aggro control decks are also viable, which means that the aggro decks that farm those decks are viable, and so on. Iterating and exploring on this would actually probably go a long way towards breaking up the monotony in the Wild meta that's existed since questlines were introduced in United and Stormwind. Unironically, in terms of meta balance, Bug Druid might have been the hero that the Wild format needed all along. But Bug Druid is still a bug. Overpowered or not, it's not meant to be there. It needs to be patched out sooner rather than later. But when that happens, I expect the Wild meta to snap back to where it was before. You know, when Questline Warrior and Hunter decks and giant spamming Warlock decks were the only reasonable options for climbing ladder. Not many people are going to look forward to going back to that. It's a sad commentary, but I think there's some things we can learn from the story of Bug Druid. Wild meta balance is easier to shift than you think, and it probably wouldn't take much to move the needle back away from the monotony of questlines. Preferably, that comes in the form of balance changes to the quest lines, rather than a new, over-the-top, cheap archetype like Bug Druid. But either way, it would be nice to shake things up. That's it for this video. If you like this content and you want to see more, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thanks for watching.